Hello, I'm Andy Wong. Today, I'll share a tutorial on buying real estate in Australia and key factors to consider. From my experience and discussions, people often overlook elements when investing in Australian real estate. If you're planning for the market, including loans, taxes, or legalities, pay attention today. Whether you're a local or overseas buyer, there's something to gain. We won't give specific investment advice, but do subscribe, like, and share. In this overview, I'll break down the process into 5 key points and discuss common issues and smoother solutions. If you're interested in loan matters, tax issues, or legal requirements, watch our tutorial today. Whether you're a local buyer in Australia or an overseas buyer, there's something to gain here. Note, we won't be giving any investment advice, but we do suggest you subscribe, like, and share. This overview of the way to buy real estate in Australia breaks down into 5 steps, common issues, and how to ease the process. First, research the market and decide on a property. In the basic common process of buying real estate in Australia, I can break it down into 5 key points. In the following content, I'll help you unpack some common issues you might encounter and how you can make the process a bit more comfortable for yourself. The first step is, of course, that we have to do a market survey. And what kind of property do we have in mind? There are some actions to consider. Firstly, use online info. Check Australian real estate sites like CoreLogic, Domain, and realestate.com, part of REA Group. Find and compare info online, worth your time. If a property is nearby, visit it. Buying unseen is risky unless trusted agents or friends help. This aids research. Many overlook. Beyond supply and demand, understand current events. You can find this information online and compare different situations, so it's worth spending some time on it. If you have a specific property in mind, especially nearby, go check it out. Buying sight unseen can be risky unless you have trusted agents or friends to help. This aids your research. Many overlook the need to understand the current economic situation, like how the economy is doing or interest rate trends. Consider other investment factors. Have you made your investment plans, or do you need to include your real estate purchase in your strategy? Preparation is key. If you know reputable property agents or friends who can check things out in person, that can assist your research. Many overlook. Besides property supply and demand, we need to understand the economic situation. What's the economic situation? Is the economy doing well or poorly? Are interest rates rising or falling? Consider other investment factors. It's good to have friends introduce you to reputable agents. Many of you might know some, but the key is finding agents with a good reputation. They can share experiences and provide property details, which is helpful. What's the economic situation like? Besides whether the economy is doing well or poorly, and whether interest rates are going up or down, there might be other factors from an investment perspective that you need to understand. Have you already made your investment plans? Or do you need to incorporate your real estate purchase into your overall investment strategy? It's important to do some preparation in advance. So, if we notice that many times it's really helpful to have some friends who can introduce you to good property agents. I believe many of you might already know some, but the key is to find reputable property agents. They can share their experiences with you and provide details about the properties, which can be really beneficial. You'll gain a lot from it. The second part focuses on financial preparation. Beyond our previous discussion, consider investment planning or existing investments as part of this. Also, think about loan pre-approval and whether to aim for a higher down payment like 10% or 20%. What factors should influence this decision? More, understand how these choices affect repayments and other situations as circumstances vary. Loan options differ for local buyers and overseas investors, affecting ease of obtaining a loan. Should you approach big banks directly for a mortgage or use a broker? When considering the down payment in Hong Kong, should you put down 10% or 20%? What factors matter? Or should you pay more? It's crucial to understand how adjustments affect repayments and other situations as circumstances vary. Loan choices and restrictions differ for local buyers and overseas investors. How easy is it to get a loan? Should you go to big name banks or use a mortgage broker? Comparing offers from 40 to 50 banks can be beneficial. Mortgage brokers offer services that provide more information. Loan options vary for local buyers and overseas investors. Loan accessibility is another factor. Should I choose big name banks or a mortgage broker? Consider comparing offers from 40 to 50 banks. These offers can assist you. Mortgage brokers offer extra services for more insights. Due to time, I won't detail, but overseas investors should note FIRB regulations and potential extra costs. Mortgage brokers provide insights to understand borrowing capacity. You might actually go and compare maybe 40 to 50 different banks and, what kind of offers are available for that loan that might be helpful. Generous. Of course, there are actually other services in Mortgage Booker which may provide you with more information for your reference. Now, due to time constraints, I won't go into too much detail, but I believe that overseas investors should pay attention to FIRB regulations as they might involve additional investment costs that you need to be aware of. I think most of what I mentioned earlier about mortgage brokers should give you a lot of insights based on their experience, helping you understand your borrowing capacity. So how much can you actually borrow? What will your repayments look like? Which banks might be more suitable for your situation? So you can definitely ask around to see if there are any reputable mortgage brokers you can chat with. How much can you actually borrow? What will your repayments look like? Which banks might be more suitable for your situation? So you can definitely ask around to see if there are any reputable mortgage brokers you can chat with. What about the next step? After the first two, you're finalizing things. You might spend more time and money on building inspections, termite checks, and reviewing property documents. Consider different documents and valuations. Handle stamp duty and tax situations post-purchase, and consult a lawyer for details. Often, people buy a property and then consult an accountant for tax planning. Some prefer doing it afterward, but I'd rather do it in advance. Buying a property is part of investment planning. If an accountant is needed later, why not consult them beforehand? Think ahead. So in these steps, after buying a property, you might need to handle stamp duty and taxes. Consulting a lawyer can help with details. Often people buy property and then talk to an accountant about taxes. Planning ahead is better. Some prefer post-purchase planning, but I like to plan in advance. If an accountant is needed later, why not consult them beforehand? It's wise to think ahead. Handle step according to your schedule. A trusted accountant or lawyer or a referral can be beneficial. How can I improve planning? Some prefer spontaneity, but I plan ahead. Planning for investments and property is crucial. Consult an accountant beforehand if needed. In steps 3 to 5, follow your schedule. Manage according to time arrangements. A trusted accountant, lawyer, or referral helps. To summarize in 5 steps, sometimes rely on others. As the saying goes, better to eat with people. Reputable agents, brokers, lawyers, accountants, or experts can help. This impacts real estate investing. I think it's better to handle things according to different people's schedules. So, if you have a familiar accountant or lawyer friend, or if you have a reputable referral from someone you know, that could really help you out. Alright, let's summarize this. In the 5 steps we talked about, aside from doing your own homework, sometimes it's better to rely on others. You know the saying, it's better to eat with people than to eat words. Having some reputable real estate agents, mortgage brokers, lawyers, accountants, or even investment experts to discuss things which can really help you out. It could make a big difference in your life, especially when it comes to investing in real estate.
Hey everyone, I'm Andy Wong. I'm one of the few people here in Australia and Hong Kong who is licensed or qualified to help local clients and companies with diversified investments, like my years of experience with US stocks, Australian stocks, SMSFs, ETFs, and so on. I hope to share my investment and life experiences with the Chinese community in Australia and Hong Kong through this YouTube channel. If you're interested in having a one-on-one chat with me, you can book a time through the link below the video or in the channel's content. Schedule a time with me.
We just discussed macroeconomic analysis. I'll discuss my research with colleagues. A chart shows growth in major cities compared to Australia's market growth. Perth and Brisbane showed stronger growth. Recently, growth slowed slightly. Seasonal factors and uncertainties, like Trump's rise, may consolidate the market. Considering macro supply, demand, and debt ratio, the long-term outlook is positive. You can see that Perth and Brisbane have had stronger growth. However, you might have noticed that in the past couple of months, growth seems to slow slightly. That's not surprising. Besides seasonal factors, other uncertainties like Trump's presidency could contribute to market consolidation. Looking at macro supply demand and Australia's debt ratio, we believe long-term it remains positive for real estate buyers. Aside from those living in the property, concerned about livability and price appreciation, investors should dig deeper into data. They might compare rental yields, the return rates. You can see the overall trends. But if we look at the macro supply and demand side for the time being, and Australia's own debt ratio, we actually feel that this should still be a positive environment in the long term. Coming when buying real estate, aside from those looking to live in the property who focus on livability and price appreciation, investors should analyze data like rental yields, which indicate rental return rates. Overall, rental yields have improved since 2022. For instance, in Melbourne, after property prices dropped, rental yields became more attractive. In major cities, yields hover around 3% to 5%, serving as a reference. This data reflects current rental returns in major cities. It's crucial to examine each area individually due to varying factors. Consulting property agents, mortgage brokers, or online resources can provide additional insights. To put it bluntly, the rental yield is actually better than it was in 2022. That is 2 to 212. 2 years is better. And overall, that is us. I've seen them all. Maybe they can stay with me. For example, after property prices in places like Melbourne have fallen, rental yields have begun to attract interest. Looking at the overall picture, the rental yield in major cities is about 3 to 5%. This is how I walked around in the middle. This is for reference. Here's some data for you to check out. You can see the current rental yields in major wealthy cities. Of course, when you look at each area, there are many different factors to consider. You might need to dig a little deeper and consult various property agents, mortgage brokers, or even online resources to gather more information for your reference. In addition to talking about the supply of some communities, at the beginning, what are the needs for some reference? Of course, we all must pay attention to the economic environment of which state or country. And what is the family relationship? What is the point of structural debt? What is the number of immigrants? And what is the capacity of the labor market? Is borrowing healthy or not? In fact, these are very important. We need to look at some data for reference. Of course, if I say the most. Currently, the focus is on interest rates. Will the RBA cut rates in February? The market predicts a significant chance. We can check references for market expectations. The market speculates rates could drop to around 3% in the next few years. Time constraints may prevent understanding local regulations, leading to tax or legal issues. No one wants those problems. Predictions can just serve as a mental preparation and a little reference to see what the market is currently anticipating. Right now, it seems that in the next 2 years, the most extreme scenario could see rates drop to around 3%. As the market changes, we might continue to follow up on this in other media programs or in our educational shares. From the earlier tutorial sharing, you learned, no one wants to be confused as a buyer. Some might not know local rules, leading to tax or legal issues. No one wants to face such issues. Underestimating property costs, cash flow, and market changes can lead to wrong choices. You want to avoid budget issues, avoid regretful situations. Researching and consulting experts can help you plan better. One issue is underestimating the costs of a property, cash flow situations, and market changes, which can lead to choosing the wrong properties. People want to minimize these budget-related issues. Also, everyone hopes to avoid times they say, if only I had known, I would have done it differently. So, I feel that if possible, researching and consulting professionals could give you more information for a better plan. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and let us know. Thank you all. Yeah, so I think if possible, you should spend more time doing research and also talk to more professionals in their fields. They might have some information that can help you out and allow you to create a better plan. So that wraps up today's tutorial sharing. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and let us know. Thank you all.
Thanks for your support. Remember to leave a comment, give a thumbs up, and share. Our teaching share doesn't include any investment advice. So, before you make any decisions, remember to consult the relevant licensed professionals for advice. Thanks a lot.